There we go. Grant, guess what, bud?
That looks like a new Dungeon Master's Guide. It's not like
All
the
right,
one I'm
so
used to.
D&D, they've introduced new
Surely
things to the Dungeon Master's Guide.
Surely it's helpful and it's good stuff for the game.
Well, 2 core tools they've introduced for player safety.
Oh, okay.
Which we all know what that is. It's basically, for coddling certain people and to create a safe space within a imagination game. I just don't understand it. But they've introduced things like you can actually, like, if certain things that the dungeon master can identify up front, that he has to identify, like what the story is going to be about and what might trigger people. He has to identify that up front.
No, fuck this. Let me tell you something. Okay.
Grant, it gets worse.
Oh, God.
It gets worse. No, go ahead. Go ahead, buddy.
So you have to basically disclose any type of triggering thing. Well, first of all, I'm not playing D&D with anybody unless I know them. That's off rip. Oh, God. D&D's new gun. 8.
All right, so we'll get to this, but keep going.
Okay, so you're basically saying you have to disclose any type of triggering things for your campaign. Is that basically what you're saying?
Yes. Yep.
And what if you don't? Like so what's the penalty? So what if I lie to you and what's the penalty if I don't?
Well, they have a hand signal now. Like during the campaign, if something is triggering you, you can just do this. You can do the I'm a fucking soft little piece of shit nerd signal.
No, that's the signal for I'm a fucking pussy. What is this?
Because now they have to, like, if people are in the group, all right, and they are now these people that want to just play the game, they don't care, they just want fantasy, right? The purpose of D&D, to get in a group and go on a quest and escape,
so
right?
Hold on. Let me back up real quick. So what is this for?
Nope.
What is this for? Well, let me just say this, because don't you, when you play D&D, you're playing with people that you already know.
Yeah, most of the time. Or you can meet up with groups, I guess, out. They have group things you can meet up for and play with people in your local area. I'm sure they have stuff like that.
So what's the penalty? Let's just say I lie to you. Let's just say I just say, oh yeah, it's going to be about this, and next thing you know, people are getting their heads cut off and titties chopped off. I know, but what's to say if I don't give a fuck about that signal and I keep going? What happens to me? That's what I'm saying. What's the penalty?
I don't know, Grant. You just get blacklisted as a dungeon master.
Do they have to roll some dice at me to make me, do I get banned? Like, roll a 18?
No, if you're a dungeon master now, you have to abide by this new.
You know what's going to be funny?
Dungeon guide.
Here's the thing: is they're going to have it to the point to where you have to get a certification to be a dungeon master. Like, you're going to have to take a course.
The issue is that you're playing again to a small, tiny fraction minority, and then this one person that you might be in a group of 10 going on an adventure. This one person that's this little soft little shit that can't take real world stuff. It probably doesn't need to play D&D anyway, if that's the case. But if you can't do that, then your whole gaming experience is ruined by this one little shit.
Yes.
That shows up the X.
Fuck that.
When he gets triggered.
Fuck that.
In a fantasy world.
Fuck that. I go and tell you, I'm going to be the dungeon master that fucking kills that motherfucker. Like 7 golems have now walked in.
Yes, Lilith. You are correct. That is correct. You have these woke safety tools.
Nope.
In D&D.
Nope. This is going to be me. All of a sudden, in the mist, I'm gonna corner this guy in a room, and I'm like, all of a sudden, in the mist, a gold worm comes out of nowhere. Ancient gold worm comes out of nowhere and attacks you over and over and over, and you're dead. Your character's dead. Bye. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Take your little fucking signal out with you. Yeah. But you're being a bully. No, these are the people who need to be bullied. Like, these people need. Like, this is fucking ridiculous.
Or Illithid rises up and it's named Trump.
That's they'd fucking fall out.
Have a heart attack right there.
Oh my god!
All right, but on to the next thing is part of this. So they're taking this. This is actually they took this from other similar things to Dungeons and Dragons, mostly like I guess sex escapism, like I guess make believe stuff and other dungeon games. But this has existed, like safe words and stuff like that in these other games. These have existed before, and I guess they didn't give them due credit or something like that. It's not really. I don't see this as being major news or anything like that. But these safety tools in other games have existed, and I mean, it's just kind of like, what is going on? Like, why we've gotten to the point in our Western little soft society that even in sci-fi that we have to have safe spaces and safety tools for people
is the creator of
not
D&D
get triggered.
Is he still alive?
What's that?
Is the creator of D&D, is he still alive?
I don't know.
I would love to hear, if he was, to hear what he has to say about this and how they have taken his creation and they've turned it into to this.
I could see a lot of dungeon masters not wanting to execute this guide.
They're not going to.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like for the new stuff. I mean, I don't know. Or, you know, if I was a dungeon master and I had this new stuff, I mean, it also has like, you know, orcs baking cakes and dwarves fucking making pastries. Like, you know, dwarves are known for making pastries. They have pictures of shit like that on their fucking dungeon.
The reason why
made it really fucking not fantasy, like high fantasy. They completely eliminated and made it into like a little fucking fairy tale dungeon man, and that's not what Dungeons and Dragons is.
To be a really good dungeon master, you have to be a really creative person. Also, a lot of dungeon masters are assholes. Like, you know what I mean? Like they don't.
Well, you have to be, because you can't play friends with anybody. Exactly. No one in the room is your friend.
That's incredible, man. Like
a lot of people, like a lot of groups, like D&D groups, they will hire. They actually will grab outside dungeon masters that they do not know to do their games.
I would like to see this in action. I would like to see this. Like, I would like to go undercover into a place and just sit there and just watch and see if this actually happens and see.
No. You don't see that a lot.
Oh my God. This is ridiculous, man.
You know, my daughter plays a D&D in her school. It's part of it's a club.
But it's cool.
And they talk about this. Like, they don't like the new stuff. Like, what they're introducing to them.
Or is it kind of like the Hellfire's Club
type is deal? Very anti, like, adding all this other new age, like, mixed with our current world kind of crap into a fantasy world. They hate that shit.
That's pretty cool.
They do a club. They have D&D clubs at school.
So that's pretty cool. So is it kind of like the Hellfire Club from Stranger Things type deal, like that?
Something like that, but it's at school. They do it at school on school.
Okay, so this is like a
it's an actual club.
Accredited club, like.
Well, I don't know if it's accredited, but it's at school, and they do this at their school.
That's still pretty cool, though.
Yeah, and it's considered a club at
school. It's cool how that. Here's the thing. You remember. It's cool how that's accepted now, and everybody thinks it's cool, because I think it's cool. But me and you were in high school, if we would have got no women.
Magic the Gathering or something.
We would have got no women in high school.
Nope. That's cool nowadays, though.
Man, we were just born in the wrong time.
Yep. But yeah, dude, it's like it's just like another IP infested with, we have to have our deisms, like our social, ideological, political. We have to have our real world stuff in these fantasy worlds.
Yeah.
And it takes a certain individual, the same people you want to see in these DEI fucking hiring positions, that think like this. Yeah. Like, their take on the world is right.
Yeah.
And so since it's right, and since it is, and there's nothing else besides that, we are going to also add it into an IP, a game. And that's why you see Warhammer kind of getting, when they came out with the female Custodes, I've already explained why there cannot be a female Custodes per Warhammer's own lore, and their rules about lore when people write books and create stuff off of Warhammer 40K. Why they basically dismiss their own rules to introduce a female Custodes.
Yeah.
In the 40K universe. But we already went through a podcast. You can check on the podcast prior.
Podcast.
Podcast.
Not
couple.
Podcast.
It's podcast.
You
sound like a Boston. But yeah, like, it's another IP trying to get infected with this crap. And they're not stopping. They're trying to go after all the IPs and add this shit into it. That is they got popular, but since they're a popular IP now and it's already established, we're going to add our shit into it.
They're
Our
going to change
woke, stupid shit.
It'll no longer be Wizards of the Coast because Wizards is male, so it'll have to be gender neutral.
Oh, magic users
of the coast
can't use sorcerers. Or I guess you could use because a sorceress and a sorcerer, you can't do that.
Conjurers of the coast. That's what it'd be called. And if they take that, I'm taking this and I'm suing them because it was trademarked here.
But yeah, dude, just another, our dayisms into a fantasy IP.
I want to see how I would like to know. I would like to come back to this in a couple months and see how this is working out.
I don't know.
Like I might actually delve into YouTube and see if there's any videos of this. If so, I swear to God, if I see that, I don't care. I'm bullying. Don't care.
Yeah. Okay.